Hey everybody, welcome to the Fight Network Studios. This is Fight News Now Extra. I am John Ramdeen. He is Robin Black. In less than a month's time, we are on our way to Las Vegas, Nevada. 3 shows held by the Ultimate Fighting Championship. December 12th, the big show going down. Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero taking on Jacare, Max Holloway, Jeremy Stevens. You have Uriah Faber on the card. Really one of the best cards, I think, maybe ever in the history of mixed martial arts. Loaded with talent. Some fighters in the pinnacle of their career. Is the UFC worried, do you think? It's like, okay, is this really going to happen? John Pollock was talking about the fact that, when you have a card of this magnitude, injuries are bound to happen. Do you think the UFC has a contingency plan? Because there are rumors out there that Jose Aldo may not make it to the dance.
Well, if Jose Aldo doesn't make it to the dance, he hasn't fought in a long time. He's faced a lot of injury issues. There's been stories of him having to get therapy and treatment to just get his neck and back in such a state that he can begin to train. So he's put in his years. He's put in his hard work, but it's now or never kind of for him. We'll see. It feels like it's happening. First of all, I can't believe we're going down there. We're going to cover these and bring back all the information that we can. I feel like this is happening. I don't know why. Feelings are not exactly the most scientific thing in the world, but I have a feeling this is going down.
Do you think the UFC is concerned that Jose Aldo doesn't make an appearance in this main event? Obviously, it's a big fight. They've talked about this fight for so long. They had the tour. The fight didn't happen. Chad Mendes came in. That's where Conor McGregor became the interim champion. What do you think? Is there a contingency plan in case Jose Aldo cannot make it into this title fight?
Frankie, I'm sorry, man. The contingency plan is probably not you. I know we said it was you. I know we were planning on it being you. But you're fighting Chad Mendes. That's the main event of that show. We kind of need that. It's Uriah Faber, I think. We just did a TV show with Uriah Faber. He is a 135-pounder, but he'll go up to 145. Although if this were to happen, and we're right about it, McGregor will be so big compared to my guy Uriah, man. But Uriah doesn't care. He'll go in there, make his $500,000 to go and take this guy down and try to cave his face in or guillotine him.
Of course, Luke Rockhold will look to become the middleweight champion of the world, taking on Chris Weidman, a guy that for some reason is not talked about in that pound-for-pound conversation. Maybe he is right now with John Jones out of the picture. But can Luke Rockhold be that guy? Everybody looks back to the fight with Vitor Belfort, and it's like, I don't know if he's made of what it takes to be a champion. We know he was a champion in Strikeforce, facing good guys in the Scott Coker promotion. But where do you see Luke Rockhold right now? Is he, in your opinion, clearly the number 2 guy at 185 pounds?
I think so. You see the way he moves. You see the way he's built physically. See the way he ties together all his body parts. He moves so beautifully, and he's kind of focused in on a couple of key weapons. He's a right-hander who fights with his right hand forward. There's not a lot of those guys left, so they're harder to train for. At the lower levels, often, we'll take a wrestler who's really good, who drives in with his right leg forward, and we'll teach him to fight southpaw. But that hasn't proven to work, with the exception of a couple of key guys, including Rockhold. He rips you with that right hand. His timing on it is so good, and he rips you to the body with the left kick, and he's got a million other tools. Chris needs to be perfect to win this fight. He needs to be perfect, but he was pretty perfect against Lyoto, and he was pretty perfect against Anderson Silva, and he was pretty perfect against Vitor once he survived being imperfect earlier. So he's got his moments of perfection, but man, it's a tough matchup for both guys. It's one of these, you're on the edge of your seat, it's super electric. This one's going to be a big deal.
Now, when you look at the two teams, Luke Rockhold, of course, training in San Jose, California with Daniel Cormier, the current 205-pound champion, as well as Cain Velasquez, the former heavyweight champion. Chris Weidman, coming from a team that, we know how good they are, but they're not a team that everybody talks about. Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, you got Ray Longo coaching the striking, Matt Serra's there, Al Iaquinta, who we've seen, do good things in mixed martial arts. Does a certain camp favor each guy? Like when you look at Luke Rockhold's camp or you look at Weidman's camp and their trainers, who do you favor?
For my money, as the sport keeps evolving and you have to keep innovating. It's hard to innovate all the time, and people will copy you. That's true in whatever it is you do, but the innovators learn to keep innovating. Matt Hume is one of these guys trying to push the envelope of what it is to win in mixed martial arts against trained guys. And I don't know, Ray Longo really reminds me of him. I don't know if it's because they both come from that descendant of Jeet Kune Do. I don't know why that is, but it's the same feeling. Is Longo's looking at it going, I've got myself a thoroughbred, and we are going to innovate all the time. And if they can keep innovating, they can keep winning.
Also on that card, we talked about the middleweight championship, the 145-pound championship. Uriah Faber on the card, a sensational battle at 170 pounds. If you're a fan of jiu-jitsu, this is a fight for you. Gunnar Nelson taking on Damian Maia. Does this fight even go to the ground? Especially, you look at some of the training that Gunnar Nelson's been doing with Conor McGregor, all that movement training. Why mess around with Damian Maia? I know he's confident that he can hang with Damian Maia on the ground, but I'm sure he'd be more confident with the fact that he could probably knock him out.
The philosophy that I pick up from the SBG gym, David Mullins works with that team, and we pick up some of what the head coach and even McGregor, who kind of pioneers his own thinking and mental strength and philosophy, some of their philosophy is we don't avoid any positions. And there's something in it. If you get the feeling, I mean, if you're Gunnar Nelson, haven't you always really wanted to go to the ground with Damian Maia? Haven't you always really cherished that idea of going down there and seeing it? You can have that in this fight. You can go and welcome it and explore it and feel good in there, or you can avoid it. I see him trying to fight on the feet, but if and when it goes towards the ground, not over-resisting, welcoming it, going down there.
But when you look at Damian Maia's, it's not just his jiu-jitsu that people have to worry about. They have to worry about his wrestling for mixed martial arts and his control on the ground. He has great takedowns, and I think it surprises a lot of people how he is able to take guys that come from a wrestling background down to the canvas.
Yeah, I think he's a wonderful fighter, and he's also able to kind of, you know, he was burnt out by Rory because he was forced to work hard. That's not his game. His game is to work smart, and Gunnar Nelson's game is to work smart too. So you're going to see the beauty of combat in this one.
All the action going down on December 12th, and don't forget to tune into FN this weekend as we have you covered. Ben Henderson taking on Jorge Masvidal. We have a 1-hour preview show at 7 a.m. Eastern right here Saturday morning. That's it for us. Don't go anywhere. More FNE is coming your way.
This program is brought to you by Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, available December 1st, 2015.